All right, checking in on a Thursday. I'm brewing beer today. That's what I'm doing. I'm brewing beer. It's beer day. I'm wearing my t-shirt's a little. I'm talking about it. We're gonna talk about weather, but I'm talking about because I got beer, grains and stuff on me, and I'm like, yeah, I didn't really have time because my mash is just finishing up now. This is a quarantine IPA. I came up with it during the COVID quarantine. I had a little time on my hands. It's a big beer. It's kind of an imperial IPA, 0.070 original gravity. That just tells you how much sugar and grain is available to the yeast to eat to create alcohol and CO2. And that's it. So original gravity tells you the heaviness of a beer. So big beers have big gravities. A Budweiser would be a 1.0. I want to say a 3.4 or something like that. And then the final gravity is how much of the sugars were eaten. So you take a hydrometer, you stick it in, you get the original gravity. Then after the yeast does its thing, you put the hydrometer in again, and you get the final gravity, which tells you how much sugar was converted to alcohol and CO2. So that's the deal. And that's what I'm doing today. Let me see if I got a picture here. This is my brew day setup. So my alarm just went off, which means that I have to go take the grains out of those orange buckets and drain them and filter them back into the boil keg. And then that's when you boil, get a hot break, and then you add hops and whatever. We'll get into that some other day, but I just wanted to let you know my situation here. And also, if it weren't for the brewing day, surf right now. This is Ocean Beach Live. This is a Surfline camera. You see bodies out there. And the funny thing about Surfline cameras is, so beach isn't good that many days of the year just because of wind conditions. Like this is a unicorn day. You don't get good waves in San Francisco in June. You can, but in May and June, July and August, surf is just non-existent. There's swell. There's always swell. But even this is a little ragged because the winds are generally northwest. Today, the winds are south. The swell's kind of got a good little west to it. And guys are getting waves. People are getting waves out there right now. But my point is, like, there's dudes all over San Francisco right now working in high rises or working at home, looking at this going, God dang it. Like, because you got to work, right? But before cameras, we didn't really know it was good. But now you just sit, like, I'll watch this all day and go, oh, man, maybe it's worth driving out for that wave, right? So just a little insight into that world, if you will. Okay, so here is, let me push this. I hate that thing. Okay, so here is the visible satellite. There's a little bit of fog trying to make its way back up the coast. And it will, by the way, tonight the fog is going to get pushed in here. That's the coastal fog. It's big time. That's Point Conception right here. And then this, of course, is Southern California, San Diego, in those areas, Santa Barbara, and they're fogged in. It's gloomy. It's their June gloom, and they know it, and they love it. That's why they live down there. This is a surface observation map. Today's going to be the warmest day of the week. Next couple of days, temperatures cool down because the fog comes back, and a few high clouds will come in. But the fluctuation was such that yesterday and today, warmest day of the week, and then the next couple of days, temperatures trend down just in time for the weekend. Is it horrible, cold, and no, it's just going to be cooler. Temperatures, instead of in the mid and upper 80s, are going to be in the mid 70s, maybe even low 70s by Saturday and Sunday. And then there will be some low and mid 80s in the warmest spots as you go in towards the valley. And we can check out, let's go, well, you can see these numbers, right? That's 73. That's at that station in Sacramento, it's 73 degrees right now. And the wind gust is 16. And you see that north trajectory on the winds. So these sticks, everything goes this way with these sticks, right? So that's a wind direction. And you see that's a lot of north in the wind. And so that is not offshore, but we would call that side shore. And there is a compressional component to that where you have high pressure. So when you get that wind direction, tomorrow when we show, well, I don't know if I'll show you this tomorrow, but the winds are going to be good. Those sticks are all going to be going that way. And the temperatures they'll drop down tomorrow. Friday, yeah, temperature's going to cool down a little bit. So that's the plan. So your weekend's going to be cooler. And again, Ocean Beach, a beautiful day out at the beach. If you are inclined to go to the beach, which many folks are, especially on a day like today, and many folks work from home, and many people aren't from here. Ocean Beach, dangerous beach. I think we talked about that before, but just be aware of that and don't, even today, I mean, those are bad. I can see rips right there. I mean, there's a ton of rip out there, and it's just because the sandbars are all chewed up from the winter swells. And if you look far enough out here, you can see it looks like a little bit of fog trying to work its way back in. So maybe fog's back tonight. Here is the 24-hour change. The 24-hour change, I'm just making the point that today is going to be warmest day of the week. Let's go Concord right here. 70 degrees. That's plus 5 degrees from where it was yesterday at this time. Livermore, 66, that's plus 5 degrees. Oakland, 62, that's plus 4 degrees. Hayward, plus 4 degrees. So plus the change from yesterday gives you a good indication of where the heck you're going today. And where we're going today is back into the warmest day probably of the week. And then there's the 5-day forecast. It's going to be a cooler weekend. You will find low 80s on Saturday and Sunday. And on Friday, you'll see mid and upper 80s, but around the bay, temperatures generally upper 70s. So it's going to be slightly cooler. Very pleasant weekend ahead, just not as stunning. Last couple of days have been pretty nice. All right, that's a quick one. I got to get making beer.